People are going to keep talking, then I'm going to keep talking. My grandfather could talk to me in French Canadian, and I can understand it, but I couldn't speak it. I think the important thing to remember about speaking French is that you must be able to say expensive brands properly.
They could. I mean, definitely. But it's been so long. No offense, but I think that you would have gone through the bullets that. I mean, it's 5.5 years ago. But since Derek is here, Derek, let's see. I'm going to read verbatim what Derek just emailed me, just for fun. Clerical error, my fucking ass. They have been protecting him as an eyewitness. 5 minors give eyewitness accounts to sketch artists that equal old guy sketch. But the second sketch released in 2019 at the changing direction presser switches it to the young guy sketch. Who was responsible for that sketch? The sketch artist said young guy sketch was actually first. Richard Allen went to the cops on 2/13 before bodies. 2019 press release from ISP to the AP states that no longer consider old guy sketch a person of interest. What the fuck? Thought nobody had been cleared. Who could get cleared? A fucking witness, Lana? Richard Allen is responsible for young guy sketch. They have been protecting him as an eyewitness. You want to know who I'm going to continue reading and then Doug Carter said about a year ago in an interview, if you put the two sketches together and let them fall away, what is behind them is the person responsible for the death of Libby and Abby. Lana, he didn't mean to combine how they look. He meant old guy sketch is Richard Allen and young guy sketch was created by Richard Allen. My goodness, they have been protecting him. Now Carter says put the two together and the both physical resemble BG. That is not what they said in 2019 or in 2021. Did Richard Allen pass a lie detector? Did he fail it? We know, because the lie detector specialist was murdered. Oh my God. Her husband, the judge, car fell on him changing a tire. How many fucking judges you know change their own tires? Thank you. My name is Derek Farmer. Best email I've ever got in my life. P.S. I don't answer calls unless cleared by a text first. If you Derek. Cute, Derek. I will make sure I text you first. Yo, Derek, it's your baby mama. What you doing, honey? Yo, Derek, can you believe those motherfuckers? Derek making my night right here. Clerical error my fucking ass. Derek's only theory ever. I mean, pretty spot on.
How's everybody doing today?
Complete,
and it divides.
we're talking radical. We're talking politically radical to each other.
Right. Yeah. Right.
It's
I mean,
it's not just like it's not just like Derek's a little bit left leaning and Sleuth is a little bit right. No, we're talking complete, radically opposite political people. And
oh, me and you?
Yeah,
I don't think we are. I'm totally Second Amendment. That's not right. That's on the same side, right?
Silence
yeah.
is deafening.
I mean,
I mean, I don't like the well, you can have a lot of bullets in them and stuff like that, and they should have little green, or pink caps on the end so you can see
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, don't get me started.
I'm fucking around with you, man. Whatever, and it
And
divides.
we're talking radical.
Just letting a few people get in the room because right now there is zero people in the room. Bow, bow, bow. Great show. I practically crawled up on the stage. Well, you got that right, Rick Valentin. The plot is getting thin. Wonder what you meant by that 30 years ago. It's a great fucking line. How you doing, everybody? My name's Derek Farmer. I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. A couple things I don't bullshit about. My name, where I'm from. It's not where I live, but it's where I'm from. My heart is still partly there. Well, I got behind on my payments and I had to leave. That's what happens. When you don't pay your bills, you have to leave. So here I am now. And here I am. And part of my story is that, well, I'm a little rough today. I'm not going to lie. Usually I put on a nice, button-up shirt and my hair back in a ponytail, a little bit of blue eyeshadow. But today, I decided I'm just going to go on rough. I just woke up. My back hurts real fucking bad. But I had a really good weekend. We got Sister X's home project done. And excuse my hair. I mean, it's really a mess. In fact, I'm in a detente right now with the field mice family that lives behind my RV. They have agreed not to run and get tangled in my hair at night if I will stop shooting at them. And it's not good to shoot at mice inside your own RV because, well, I mean, these little windows are expensive and shit, I've only shot out one on a ricochet, but, sometimes the air pistol isn't as accurate as, say, a 22 with a red dot. V-Marie! I'm making verbal exclamation points behind your B. Ouch. Shit, that was my elbow. How you doing? Can't you outside? Oh, B, I'm a little rough today. It's totally no agenda. I don't know if you were watching from the beginning or not. I gotta put that up. I went to Chicago this weekend and saw the loud music, with the kids. I say the kids, although I looked around the crowd and most people looked older than me. You know, it was amazing. And while I was there, I got a real interesting job offer that I'm going to explore with a friend, an old friend. It just happened to come in and correspond with, you know, something that's pretty exciting and maybe a bit more lucrative than delivering pizzas to folks. You know, nothing wrong with that. It's good filler. It's good filler, and it's fun if you like driving. I've done it, you know, 35 years. You know, it's long enough. What else could I be delivering? But we'll get back to that. Anyways, B, you been doing good, B? How's that weather down there? You guys, you ain't been in no twister or nothing, right? Yeah, well, you know, we both know, B, it takes more than luck. It takes hard work and determination and tenacity. And I don't know if I'm there yet, but I'm willing to give it a shot if I think it's the right move. Now that I don't like the idea of just like ditching my place here, you know, but this new job would be more in the locale of, say, Colorado. Okay. I've lived in Colorado for 4 years, of course, in Fort Collins. This isn't in Fort Collins. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for popping in. If you're just popping in to say hi, I miss you, and I know you're super busy. I also am super busy, not as crazy as I used to be. In case you haven't seen a few broadcasts, all that shit's over. We're just going on with it. Been working full time and having a good time. And your kid graduates tomorrow, and work is a beast. I don't know what you do, but I know somewhere down by that Papa John's campus. But anyways, B, okay. Oh, you're taking a lunch. I got you. Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Well, thanks for oh, awesome. That'd be great. I'll probably be on. You know me, I blabber on endlessly. I have no agenda, no bullet points, no anything. So anytime I get 1 minute to say hi to you, it's a great day for me. You can count on that. Really? That sounds freaking interesting. Like with small people, everything's little. I don't know. I don't know what that means, but that sounds scientific to me. I wouldn't have seen that. I mean, I'm not saying I saw you punching up, you know, like a secretary, but I'm saying, I don't know, I saw you like maybe a teacher or maybe a teacher. Maybe you are kind of like a teacher if you work in a micro lab. Everybody's kind of like a teacher and a student in a lab setting, I would think. You have to have both ends and both options open, right? But yeah, please do that. Please hop back in. You know my email anytime you want to hit me up. P.O. Box 190, Edwardsburg, Michigan, 49112. Sindel, what is it like? Yeah, I have a P.O. Box. It's old school, but I did it for the show. Also, I couldn't get an address in this 120 acre setting. The post office still won't really recognize my mailbox that I bought, so it's got a P.O. Box, and we deal with it there. But I love you, B, and I'll tell you what, this is not going to be a loser summer. This is going to be a winter summer. Not winter, it's teeth. Winter. We're on fire. But anyways, Sindel, what time is it over there? Where are you at? I don't need to know what. I mean, maybe you want to keep a secret what like continent you're on. But I have to guess with you must Australia or something. I know that I only know England or that part, which is 5 hours ahead. I got that memorized. But like if you're in Afghanistan or some shit, Sindel, I have no idea what it could be days later. It could be a different decade for all I know, wherever you're at. Oh, really? Nice. 1813. So you're coming up. Oh, your night. That's 9, 13. Oh no, 6:13. Okay, 6:13 p.m. So you're about ready to have some. So you're in Amsterdam. What are you boiling tonight? I'm sorry. I know. Oh no, stop, Sindel. You don't have to be in the Taliban to be in Afghanistan. You just have to be on the run and afraid of afraid for your life if you don't join them. Yeah, that's an interesting place over there, Afghanistan. I really have no agenda. I'm hoping you guys got some questions for me. I was like, I'll play a few of my greatest hits. I wanted to replay my Derek Farmer theory on the Delphi murders. Oh, really? So when we early I guess in Michigan we call it supper. I think there's a difference between supper and dinner. Kind of like motel and hotel. Maybe one's like goulash and one is like, some fancy French stuff or something. I don't know. But I wonder what you ate. I wonder what you ate. I'm hungry. And I wonder what dinner is, in Amsterdam. I mean, are you a transplant? Are you from Amsterdam? Or you're in some way. I mean, it's so hard. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, that's cool that you know that. Some said I look rather Dutch. I don't know I don't know my real dad, so it's hard to say really that well. So, but I know I'm half Croatian at least. So, or from that part, that's where my great grandma came from. Of course, I've told the story that my great grandma came here in 1912, April of 1912. Okay. April of 1912, my great grandmother came from Yugoslavia to this country on a ship called the Carpathia. And on that very voyage, she was dropped at Ellis Island, only for that ship to go back and be the only ship that rescued any survivors from a ship called the Titanic. And that's when my family got its start in this country. And it's been a sinking ship ever since. Just kidding. I got my grandparents, with me. I got them with me, if you know what I mean. Oh, really? You've been to Croatia? Oh, geez, I'm kind of jealous of that. I think my great grandpa was Serbian. There's a little family conflict on that one. No one likes to admit it, His last name was Barak, B-A-R-A-K. Well, it wasn't America. Maybe it was something extended, beyond that. Of course, as we know, names were oftentimes shortened at Ellis Island itself. When they met, they didn't meet there. They met over here in America in a city called Calumet, Michigan, which was a copper mining town. And shortly thereafter, my great grandpa would blow off a couple fingers in that copper mine and then go on strike against the company. And in 1913, 14, 15, those strikes were different. Now they got these signs, like a picket sign, like, hey, we don't like you. Back then, they just killed you on the street. And that's no shit. They sent in Pinkertons, they sent in whoever they could, or whatever they call those hired hands, to beat down the people with clubs and sometimes shoot them, and oftentimes leave them bloody and broken in the streets. But they were strong people. And anyways, in Calumet, Michigan, there's something that was called the Italian Night Hall massacre. Or disaster, rather. It wasn't called a massacre. It was called a disaster. But really, it was a massacre because what had happened was during that strike and that Christmas time, the company threw a Christmas party for striking workers, wives, and children. Sort of a détente, if you will. Let's get it together, kind of. Here's a goodwill gesture. Work the wives a little bit. They got these new kids. They got these kids, and you're not making money when you're on strike, right? You're fighting to make more money, or you're banding together to do so, but you're not making money. Not in 1915, 110 years ago. There was no extra insurance policy for striking workers, is what I'm saying. You were on your own. he'd had better luck picking up those 2 blown off fingers and saving them for a snack later, because there was no food on the table. Meat was scarce. Rotten vegetables, muddy, dank, damp climates. Anyways, Italian night hall disaster. Someone yelled fire into the place, and it was in an upstairs, and all the women and children ran down the stairs. And back in those days, they didn't have what we so many some people bitch about so much, regulations and that, which I find to be important when they make sense. The important thing about regulations is that you actually follow up on the punishment for breaking them. Give them teeth, unlike me. Anyways, they run down the stairs. The doors, they don't open out in the old days. They open in. All the women and children get jammed up behind there on the stairs, and over 80 women and children died. My great-grandmother was a new mom at that point with my great-aunt, who has since passed at 90. My only aunt, as my mom was an only child. And I don't know my dad's side. But she was sick. The new baby was sick. So my great-grandma stayed home. So, in those days, it seemed like there was a disaster literally around every corner. Now, she told me, actually, she didn't. My grandmother told me a story of, my great-grandma. And I knew my great-grandmother. In fact, to go on with that, she actually died right in front of me. Passed away right in front of me with me in the room, which is how we prefer it in my family. We like to stay together till the end, That's how we are. We stay with each other around the clock when we know it's getting there. And then you just go. It's a lot easier that way. But we were close. And I was in 6th grade, I remember, Anyways, that she was riding out east to Pennsylvania from Michigan on a train to help, I guess the word would be in those days, convalesce. Maybe somebody with some kind of rheumatic fever or some kind of polio. Who knows what kind of iron lung some person had to be in back then, with some breathing apparatus. It was like on a wheel, hacking up the worst phlegm. But anyways, on the way there was a bad flood. And at one point, there were no tracks. There was nothing but water. And she said it appeared as if the train was walking across the water. It was very scary. It was rocking back and forth. And, once you go up, you don't know what's going on. Okay, so you're on the tracks. But if everything's water, is it a 50-foot ravine? Is it a cornfield? You just don't know. The mystery is there. It's like during the war, my grandpa told me this. The one thing he told me, and he didn't talk about the war, but he said on 1 or 2 occasions, he was in the Navy during World War II, and that the ship would brush up against a mine. And there's really, when you're on a big ship like that, at a certain point, you can see the mine, but you can't, it's not a 72 Volkswagen. You can't spin it around and head back the other way, Captain. So you just know you're going to hit it. And he said, you just cover your head and hold your ass or whatever, those old tough guys said, My grandpa was an old tough guy, George Farmer. But for some reason, the metal was cheap. Whatever, it had been in the salt water long enough to rust the spikes, he said, that would detonate the explosion. And it would just bounce off and wouldn't explode. I don't know. It doesn't seem like I should be here today based on like my ancestors' lives. Like, it don't seem like they should have made it a lot of times through these heavy wars. I guess my point with that is, if we're just going to go agenda free today, and I'm just going to go with whatever random thoughts come to me, you know, I don't think it's as bad today as some people try to say it is. I think we have a lot more in common as humans than we have indifferences, at the end of the day. We all just want to feed our loved ones or ourselves. Self-preservation is a powerful thing. And to hopefully do it with some dignity and grace, as I sit here with stringy ass hair after partying all weekend. I do want to say thank you to all the veterans of the past, the way past, the ones we lost, and even ones that would have generationally been gone centuries ago that fought for my freedom. That's what that Memorial Day is all about, really. Not a day off from work, You could take a day off from work anywhere if you got personal days. You got to have you get people that are due on their day, I know that's not today, but hey, Junior, man, good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. The weather is gorgeous here in central. I don't know, is it central? I don't know where the hell I'm at still. I really don't. It's like 12 dirt roads away from that. Whatever that means. It is interesting researching. Yeah. It is interesting. Ouch. Yeah, well, my lower back is totally torqued. No, I didn't just party this weekend. I didn't actually party. I had one beer at the show. Okay. I tried to be responsible. I was driving. But it was a great show. I consider just going to do something like that, partying. So many times people get confused with what partying is. Partying doesn't mean you have to get blitzed out of your mind. And that can be fun sometimes too. Nothing against. I'm not judging anyone, and I've been there plenty of times. I'm just saying it can also mean that you're completely sober and just willing to live in the moment and appreciate your surroundings, right? So let's party, But when I say that, I don't mean, hey, let's go get some cocaine and a fifth of Jack Daniels, unless you're buying. That's a joke. Hey, Junior says hello to Simdal. Simdal Junior, in case you didn't know, is in Antarctica. Simdal lives in Antarctica. It's crazy. In the time zone, it's 1957 there. One beer, living dangerously. It was a 324-ounce beer. It was a party ball. I'm just kidding. It was one 16-ounce Pabst Blue Ribbon. Why? Well, it's Memorial Day weekend. Why wouldn't I drink a Pabst Blue Ribbon, baby? I don't want Heineken. I don't want a Heineken on Memorial Day. What kind of American do you think I am? Drive a strudel wagon. I refuse to drive anything that funded a killing machine, aka German vehicles. I know, they run great on the Autobahn. I'll take my foreign enemy vehicles to the other coast of Asia, because I like Japanese cars. Right? I do. I really do. Japanese cars are awesome. High Jump was about me. Really? So you are a time traveling Nazi, it turns out. I get all the references for that. Yeah. Hey, what do you think? Are you into that kind of stuff? You like that symbol? I mean, about Operation High Jump. Or do you believe it was purely a scientific, they send down 6,000 or, military with all these crazy military weapons and an armada, ships and one submarine, at least, to collect some snow, to dig out some ice. Something tells me there was something else going on there. Obviously, a military operation. Doesn't have to be time traveling Nazis in a secret base in the hole in the earth. But it doesn't mean it wasn't. Oh God, Simdal, really? We're on the same. I mean, I think so too. People don't like it when you talk about that stuff out loud. They make everything so muddy, you know. Was the diary real? Why did the son die in a warehouse? You know, his son was shot in a warehouse. Admiral Byrd's son, after he found the diary, in some kind of robbery. Robbery? What? You ever hear that one? I mean, because I tried to figure out what happened there. You know, Byrd went silent. He had been to Antarctica at least 4 times. He didn't get enough snow the first 3 times. It's snow and ice. I mean, I don't mean to sound rubish about what the scientific, you know, but obviously, yeah, I mean, me too. It's a little convenient app, you know. I mean, well, of course, that's when you usually, I mean, but simply, when do you get someone's diary? When they're alive? That's rather rude, you know. Can I do diary? I don't know how to release that to the public. Yeah, I don't know how to prove something like that other than if it was a handwritten diary. Nothing says it was. He could have been a very official kind of guy who took reports on a Smith Corona, for all we know. You know, plink, 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 ring, you know, and maybe that's how he did his diary. Oh, yeah, sure. Jeez. Oh, wow. I mean, I definitely think so. Hey, did you hear about those? It's almost like a story that, here's what I'm noticing about the internet. I'm old, okay? And they said that, oh, they make things disappear, but they make things disappear. There are things I remember seeing, pictures, videos, stories, that I can't seem to relocate now, no matter how hard I Google it. And I'm not a great researcher, but I can't find a lot of detail. And this wasn't that long ago. It was like 2012 or something, when a group of several scientists went on some kind of, they got dropped off, and then they got picked up. Like, but they weren't where they were supposed to be. And they got picked up weeks later, and none of them spoke on the way back, as if they were all in some sort of, you know, ontological shock. And then they get shipped off somewhere. They get debriefed for days, you know, which is basically torture by your own government, until you agree to something you don't want to, or admit something you shouldn't have to. Through everything short of waterboarding, maybe. And now, like, there was video, you know, and I don't know, they all disappeared, and they found something. There is something there in Antarctica that is not, you know, anything we could even imagine, I think. Or maybe more than one thing. We'll probably never know that one. I think we're going to have a better chance with disclosure on the fact that non-human intelligence has been in contact with this planet for, or even brought us here, or whatever that story, wherever that story weaves off into. Because again, anyone says they know the answers to all that is bullshitting you. Some people, I mean, a lot of people have little bits, and a lot of people have had personal experiences and know something's up, you know. But to know the whole picture of what interactions are going on in terms of non-human intelligence, not just with us. I've heard crazy things like other species have met each other by proxy on our planet, doing other things independently from themselves. As crazy as that sounds. And I know that sounds stupid, or like some science fiction book or something. But as this story marches on, it doesn't lose legs. It only gains legs. If you keep an eye on our own Congress and what's happening, what seemingly is now week after week with secure compartmentalized information facility meetings between congressional members on the UAP task force. That's funded, by the way, whether you believe in UFOs or not, your tax dollars are paying to investigate them through the federal government as we speak. Thank you for that. Because it is something, it's the most perfectly pulled off. It's not a psyop. That's not the word I'm looking for. The amount of ridicule that any professional, and by the way, it wasn't just ridicule from friends, family, and community members, church members, and your job, coworkers and bosses. If you were a pilot and said you saw one of these things, you were fired. If you were in the military and said you saw this shit, you effectively just wiped out your career because they're going to call you nutty buddy. When there are so many layers to this that the layers don't know what the other layers are. But there is a there. Or else presidents wouldn't be getting official briefings about it. We wouldn't be spending billions of dollars on it if it was a non-existent thing, you see. There are plenty of USAPs, unspecified special access programs that are off the books and that Congress, the president, nobody knows about. Those dollars get funneled through somehow, but that there is a funding mechanism for that, and some of that information has been confidentially provided to certain members of Congress through these SCIF intelligence meetings with Congress. These are facts, okay? This isn't just some chubby guy in his mom's basement. It's a chubby guy in his own RV. There's still facts. It doesn't matter. So it's not about, to me, it's not a question anymore of do you believe in non-human intelligence? Because that's a settled question. Of course, you could take one look at the Kenmore, which is a pseudonym family video from Las Vegas 2023, a video which Scott Roeder spent days, hours, and months breaking down for us, showing not one, not two, but several. And Jim Quirk from Quirk Zone, a truth teller, a hero, and a great broadcaster. I love Jim Quirk. He's like this no-nonsense. I mean, I put him up on my community post page, but I know, but people are busy. You don't have time to just sit there and watch what the hell I'm watching. I get it. But I like the creators of those shows, because they are amateur broadcasters, although Jim has a background in journalism, or at least writing for a newspaper, whatever that means. He's just like this old-fashioned, hard-hitting guy with a rough, and he had his own personal experience that he talks about often, and he's not afraid to call stupidity, because sometimes that's what it is. Let's see what we got here. Private sector is much more adept at keeping secrets. Zero oversight. You're so right. However, people say the federal government can't keep a big secret. I don't recall any of the Japanese knowing that of the 150,000 people that worked on the atomic bomb, knowing ahead of time that was going to get dropped on them. So I would contend that secrets can be kept. And initially, when we're talking about studying this subject, its propulsion and actually recovering the craft, now you're talking about these same people who set up the atomic bomb infrastructure in this country. Oppenheimer, look, Werner von Braun. Oh no, wait, he wasn't here yet. Sorry, Oppenheimer, Sarbacher, whoever from JPL. Jack Parsons Labs, whoever those nuclear, Einstein was here for certainly. All those people were also the first people that were put in charge of a segment of studying the phenomenon. Now, the phenomenon is an overarching word that describes physical craft, and other odd shit. I don't want to go into it because it sounds nutty, buddy. All right. Oh, shoot, Junior, which case? I want to tell you. What case is it? I'll check it out. I already forgot which case I was talking about, man. You got to remind me now. You remind me and I'll tell you. Whatever that means. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, you know, I mean, I don't know too much about how accurate the science of geographical, and geological disasters were, but the evidence is in the earth that these things have happened, through crust displacement and things like that, and whatever plate tectonic stuff they know about. I mean, I believe in a lot of crazy stuff, but I don't just believe in it out of hand. I do some research, and also there are themes that start running together between things. Like, okay, for example, 20 years ago, when I first heard that there was a Bigfoot UFO connection, I remember seeing that headline on, like, way before YouTube, was big or whatever. This would have been like some Travel Channel biography bullshit, whatever, on cable, fractioned cable network at the time. I don't remember, but it's like, okay, the connection between Bigfoot and UFOs. Well, I've always liked the UFO subject, being raised, with someone who had an experience, and something I've been hearing about since the very earliest of my memories. I still have that interview in the can. It will come out with my mom. I'm just waiting for the right time, and I'm going to work that into the 6 Degrees of Kalamazoo show, but I've been uber busy lately. Knocked out a big project. Well, it wasn't a big project, but I removed all the shutters from my sister's house and my brother-in-law. Oh, it's not just my sister's, it's my brother-in-law's also, from their house, and removed those shutters and kind of cleaned up underneath it. They got a brick, a brick house. And so, like, where the shutters are attached were like strips of wood, but that was into the mortar between the bricks, and so a couple of them had come loose, so I'm going to remortar. So I did that, and then I pulled all those, and I got this really high quality paint. I had a weird experience at the paint store I'll tell you guys about. Holy Christ, I know I'm skipping all over the place now, but it was weird. If anybody, maybe somebody read about it on my community post page. But I pull up to the Sherwin-Williams store to get this $122 a gallon paint to paint these friggin' shutters with, And this stuff went on like peanut butter. It is awesome paint. It's called Emerald at the Sherwin-Williams contractor store in Skokie. I'd like to say hi to Pam, the counter lady there. Thank you for the discount, babe. And they're our sponsor for the day. But I wasn't paying $122 for a gallon of paint. No offense, man. It's good. But unless I can eat it, shit. Give me the $70 stuff, But anyways, I don't know what I was saying. Oh, yeah. So I pull up to the store, this Sherwin-Williams store. Now, anybody's ever been to Skokie knows it's like this kind of sleepy, burgish, town by Chicago. Everything's brick. It's like going to Carmel, Indiana. Everything's brick. Like there must be some kind of code. And I only went there because my Papa John's headquarters, franchise headquarters, was there. Anyways, I'm finishing up my cigarette, as you can tell. I'm, sound like I'm 90. And the window is down. It's a nice day in Skokie. Sun's out. I look up and there's like a 100-year-old woman staring at me through my window. One smoky eye. And she starts chanting something in some weird Bulgarian gypsy shit. And she's got like all these shawls on. And she starts, chanting shit. I didn't like it. It scared me. I thought she was putting a spell on me. And I said, "Leave now, witch. I don't accept your spell. Leave now while you still can. And she turned unimpressed and continued her way down the middle of a busy street. Wasn't that busy, but for a 90-year-old woman, I mean, she must have been 100. I mean, I don't know. She was almost floating. It was really weird, man. I'm not kidding you. But I didn't accept it. Not selling out my soul or my soul container for no gypsy broad on the street. Okay? I don't care how old you are. Don't try your gypsy bullshit on me. Oh, Kenmore family. Thank you, Junior, oh my God. Oh, if I had a paid staff, I'd send you a check. That was great. Yeah, so anyway, Scott Roeder, same guy that verified my video. This all happened at the same time, by the way. I mean, I first learned of Scott Roeder not because of UFOs, but because he would go on to web sleuth shows that I liked. That's what he does. His company is called The Evidence Room. It's an Ohio-based company, and they've testified in over 1,500 murder trials, either for the prosecution or the defense, based on their crime scene reconstruction specialties. And Scott does video analysis. And I figure if he's good enough to testify, or his company, in 1,500 murder trials, he's good enough to look at my UFO video. I have that email chain, and he called it legit. But before that, he verified the Kenmore family video with no less than he didn't even pick up on the one that was over the fence that came in. See, what Scott figured out through video analysis was the shadowy creatures had 66% exactly less pixels. They were cloaking themselves. They have that technology. Whether it's something they have that's mechanical that can do it, or something that's within them biologically. But you can still see a shadowy thing. Now, the shadow you can see move behind the fence line of a tight wooden fence with only thin slats. There's no light behind it. You can't make shadow like that. There's no light in front of it. It's just there. And he proved it. And also, when the police had pulled someone over, they had the body cam. Oh, by the way, the police will not release the body cam footage of the Kenmore family's backyard to this day. And those two officers reportedly have not been back to work since that night. But it ain't real. Oh, and the Department of Homeland Security put a camera up on a light pole in their backyard after that. Crazier yet, hitchhiker effect happened. A crucifix lifted up in their home days after that and floated in the air. That's not something we could see, but this video is something you can watch. And when you put it all together with the door ring cam, it looks like a green meteor coming in. Not the first time that I've heard about a green streak. Many UFO UAP encounters involve green sparks or green streaks. This was no different. So, just watch the video. Here's the funny thing is Scott Roeder did his analysis on that. There's no heat signature. So when they said it was a meteorite, it is not possible for a chunk of rock or ice or any chunk of any mass of anything to come through our atmosphere and be colder than the air around it. It's making a whirring noise as it's coming in, and the doorbell cams in the neighborhood it crashed in of the Kenmore family caught the oscillation sound of it crashing. Only to have a very real scene unfold with a father, two armed sons, and a mom with a phone cam go into the backyard and return screaming, guns in hand. They didn't care. They weren't shooting at whatever was back there, calling 911 immediately. For the officer to pull up, this they got on video. And the officer goes, I'm not going to lie to you. One of my fellow officers, whatever, not his partner, but someone said they saw something crash. Not necessarily here, but they saw something in the air. He goes, I'm kind of freaked out about this. So you put it all together like you would in a murder trial. Not always is there a 100% gotcha moment in a crime, where you can just say definitively this one thing will prove it beyond a shadow of doubt, and hell, basically don't even need to barely have a trial. Sometimes you have to put together timelines and all of the overarching evidence. We know that looking at the Delphi case, guys. If there was ever a case that exemplified that, even though we had video, even though we had audio, we still had to tediously, like a 1,000-piece puzzle, try to put it together. Whether that thing is missing a few pieces or not quite put together right, I think it's mostly put together right. So it's not all criticism for Delphi from me. Simdel, Scott Roeder is looking at that case as we speak. And yeah, because these shadow creatures have the ability to cloak themselves. And he proved that there were 66% exactly less pixels. You'd have to listen to his analysis. By the way, he put it all out there, open source. And he said, if anyone with any credentials at all who studies video, I want peer review on this. I don't need, some yuckster running the circus downtown to tell me whatever. But here is all of my evidence, free of charge. And he even offered any debunker $5,000 to prove him wrong. And nobody has even taken it up. Nobody talks about it. Even other people in this so-called fucking UFO community, which is a joke. I wouldn't hang out with half of those people. I like Richard Dolan. I like Jim Quirk. I like real people. But there are a lot of charlatans and hucksters in that business that just want to hear themselves bloviate. Yeah, well, yeah, right. It's almost like, too, I've heard descriptions of, you remember that movie Predator? The first one with, Jesse the Body Ventura? He flipped me off, by the way. The governor of Minnesota flipped me and my friend off when I was 10 years old. That's a true story. He was wrestling at Wing Stadium in Kalamazoo, Michigan as Jesse the Body Ventura. And in those days, this was the early 80s, they drove themselves there. They didn't have a lot of big contracts and money, believe it or not. Or at least some of them did, because there was a back parking lot where he pulled up in his own car and got out. I'm not saying he had the boa on and all that shit. He just had regular clothes. And when he walked in the back door, me and my buddy were like, hey, and he gave us the double bird. And we were no older than 10 or 11. We thought that was the coolest thing ever in the whole wide world. And at that same WWF event, Andre the Giant stepped on my foot, and it hurt. I was reaching, to pat him on the back, his big, unnaturally sweaty back, as he was walking by me. He didn't see my little foot down there. But he was a good dude. That was pretty fun. Remember the day, I'm not going to tell that story yet. You found a bunch of stuff about it already? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, that's, oh, yeah. So I saw Scott Roeder on Lana's show, Truth and Transparency, where he was going over the Idaho 4 murder, I think, with her. I think it was that murder. Don't quote me for sure on that, but I think so. I'd really like to get his video analysis of the full 43-second video. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure he's ever even looked at that case at all. But the fact that he's a video analysis expert, doesn't get by me. I would like to say that we have some sort of communication. We don't. We just did briefly for that one video I sent him. In fact, I really haven't heard from him since. And then I know he's busy. And like he said, well, the UFO subject matter isn't what pays the bills. So it's cool to investigate and prove that aliens are here with us on the planet, and that there's a cover-up, sort of, de facto, by the fact that they won't release body cam footage, and the cops haven't been back to work that dealt with it. The family moved out of the house. After the crucifix exploded, they were gone, like, gone, man. They weren't sticking around. They're not stupid. And they're great people, by the way. Hard working, man. They had a whole business there where they did contractor work, and the boys were working on their old man's pickup truck. These are good boys. you know, and well armed. And they knew they were they said it sounded like 1,000 little feet running all around them. And if you watch Quirk Zone, QUIRKZONE, I'll give Jim a plug because he's the one that brought this case to the forefront. And by the way, now it's finally getting legs. I've heard about it in media, in other media lately, but for 2 years, it's been Jim Quirk and Scott Roeder. So I like to give credit where the originals are due that realized and fought so hard for even people in the UFO community to bother to look at, only to be put off by Jeremy Corbell. No, we don't. That's, man, you can see aliens, man. You can see them with your own eyes on video once Scott Roeder breaks that video down for you. It's amazing. Check out that show. Subscribe to Quirk Zone. And I encourage you to subscribe to, I think he has Roeder has a channel called Crime Scene Time Machine. Check that out. I don't think he does much on it yet, but damn, just for the name itself, for coolness factor, it's worth a subscribe. Oh, enough about that anyways. So yeah, I had a great time in Chicago. You know, I mean, life isn't all just UFOs for me. I mean, I understand that this is sort of a creative fodder for, it's like if you have a train, you're into like setting up, you know, HO scale train sets or something. You can't just spend your time doing that, or else you get lost in fantasy, you know. I don't want to build little paper mache mountains with little UFOs. Like, I'm just not into it like that. I'm waiting for, you know, some official shit to come out. And plenty has. The Wilson Davis memo itself is groundbreaking. There's no better proof that we have been, I mean, not just knowing about these other things, but communicating with them and making, apparently, behind Americans' backs, treaties with some of them and a broader federation, possibly, of species. We're not alone in the universe, folks. It doesn't appear we're alone. We seem to be alone in our own solar system. You know, so, you know, I mean, obviously, if there was one other microorganism in our entire galaxy, it would blow into the face of we're the only things out there immediately, because that's all it would take to implicate with the number and trillions of galaxies and endless universes supposedly that there are, that those numbers would still be in the billions. It's they're numbers beyond human recognition. I never read that. No, I know France did a lot of genuine. God, I look like total crap. I just woke up and had to go get coffee, and the dog wanted to go for a ride. You know, and my back is just killing me. I had a hard time. I did that project, you know, like I was saying, and I just a lower back thing. It's one of these things where, like, I've dealt with it before. I know that through light stretching and a lot of water and exercise, honestly. Nothing worse, I believe. Here's my thing. I don't like the idea of becoming sedentary, is the word. It's like if I got a backache, instead of laying around, I want to like get up and go for a walk to make sure I can still keep walking. You know, I'm afraid to lose that ability. Shay Watson, how dare you sneak in here and not tell me? Oh, hi, Shay. How you doing? Of course, Simdal says hi to Shay. Oh, I'm turning around even though my back is killing me. Yeah. Little piece of my heart, Shay Watson. You know, one of these days. See, when I see you in person, you get the chunk of the amethyst, but I keep it with me. Not that I have to see you in person. That sounded kind of creepy. That's not what I really meant. You know, it's like necessary. You know. Yeah. So today, I think I'm just going to do a little light exercise. Maybe it was funny. I was leaving my property and so like antithetical to what the scene has been out here. Like the property owner was out here with her yoga group when I woke up. And so there was like, a bunch of ladies like on my dirt road, just out in the middle of my yard, just doing yoga when I woke up. It was so cool. It was weird. It's kind of not weird. I mean, it's wonderful, but it's not what one would expect to see in the setting I now live in. And I love that. I love that that people can enjoy. It doesn't have to be typecast, it doesn't have to just be sweaty cornfields and shooting guns and yeehaw. It can be in realignment, also with yourself. Where I live, I feel like it's a blessing every day. I have a car, I have the ability to get to a city, to friends, to social scenes. I don't need to party and get drunk and worry about all that. I can do it sober. So no, I'm pretty sure that stuff's confidential to the landowner. I'll run it by her. Oh yeah, no, for me to do it, great. Yeah, but I don't think they would want me to live stream that. No, something tells me no, that'd be bad. Isn't yoga where like you can actually poop yourself or something? Like, I don't know what people are doing out there. I've never done it. Isn't that like isn't that voodoo or superstitious stuff? Man. Yoga, man. Is Jesus okay with yoga? I don't know. Heretics. I'm just kidding. I don't like dogma. I don't like religious or scientific dogma. I don't like people saying they know for sure, even a book or anything. Like, I don't like all that. Let's figure it out for ourselves, but don't judge, That's what's great about being should be great about being a human. Everyone says American, but the idea that everyone shouldn't be allowed to have free thought and free will, which is what a human bonus, if you will, is. Because that's part of the storyline. That we're one of the few creatures in this entire sector, whatever, of the universe that has free will. Now, conversely, they said we're a prison planet. How the hell do you have free will on a prison planet? I don't know. I don't care either, because they're not paying my bills. So it's just whatever I see is what I see and experience. I'm happy just being a plain old human out here on all these acres on a day like today. Man, I've been waiting for this. Not a day like today, but I mean the weather in general. It's when you're living in a tin can, those cold nights are dramatically colder, and it telegraphs through here somehow. Now I got, bees flying in. I don't love bees, by the way. Big motherfuckers, man. And not the cool big ones. Like, not the bumblebees, but like big, I don't know what they are. Some kind of swamp bee. I haven't been stung by one, but I don't want to be. I don't want a bee. That was fucking dumb. Anyways, that was a great show. I love going to see live music. I don't like slowing down. I don't want to say, I have to go watch, Bob Dylan or like some, I don't know, whatever, some piano music or something. Nothing wrong with piano music. I like piano music. See, Shay says, when I was a kid, I learned in Sunday school that the devil would come dressed in beautiful clothes or wrapped in a beautiful package, etc., but to beware of the appeal of the beast. Shay, I don't know if you heard my story earlier about the smoky-eyed old lady with the deep, deep wrinkles who was standing in my car window in front of the Sherwin-Williams store in Skokie, Illinois, and then started chanting some weird spell at me, who I told to go away before she wouldn't be able to. But her shawls were colorless almost. She was wearing like 12 shawls. And she was like, And she started shaking back and forth like this, and I go, take your ass down the road. I don't receive your spell. I don't accept your spell. Witch, go. And unimpressed, most notably, she just turned and walked away down the middle of the road. It was really weird. Be yourself. Gosh, this is me, you guys. This is me waking up on the wrong side of the couch. Not wrong, in terms of like mental wise, but I'm saying I'm just unkempt so far today. I'm having only my second styrofoam cup of coffee. Please know I've been using the same cup for a long time. I don't love styrofoam. It keeps your coffee hot. It's good technology for that. It's bad for the environment. Also, it's cheap as balls. Cheap as. Also, I'd like to say thank you to today's sponsor, the Styrofoam Cup Company. Thank you for all those free cups. Because every show's got to have a sponsor. And to the Pall Mall Corporation, I would like to say thank you for making quite a delicious smoke, most distinguished. Thank you, Bic Lighter. But what is more beautiful than God? Scary thought, really. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Because to define God seems to be beyond my... That's like trying to define like what the interplay is here between species. And like, I think there is now things that are greater than me. Like, I know that now. Greater by whatever that means. However we judge that. Again, I contend that things that seem woo or supernatural or magical could possibly just be science we don't understand yet. You know, I know we like to think we know everything as a species. Something tells me we don't. Big styrofoam. Yeah. They're paying me. They're paying me in cups. You know. No, I don't like it, but you know, all right, I'll fix it. I'll stop using the fucking styrofoam, Sindel. I don't need a guilt trip. I don't need a guilt trip. Damn it. I mean, it's a small country where you're at. You guys don't have room for cups like this. You know. Here we just put it in the landfill. Let the next generation deal with it. Or send it over in the way of acid rain to Canada. A little trick we like to play. I thought it was cool. You know, as a teenager, I heard acid rain, and I was out there. I had my mouth open to the sky going, I don't feel anything yet. I'm waiting. Oh, they're like, it takes about an hour to kick in. You know, eat an orange. Oh, shit. Is this a dart? Where does it say the name? It collects dirt, this dart. It's got a bunch of... Oh, wait. I could look at the packaging. I don't know. If I'm drinking from a Michigan Styrofoam cup, company brand cup, then I take every previous negative statement about Styrofoam cups back. And would like to say these are the best engineered Styrofoam cups on the planet, then. Much like the pistons that fire the motors of our best Detroit vehicles. Well, anyways, I at least try not to make a mockery of how bad I know this shit is for our environment. So I'm not like throwing it out the window or whatever, but you know. But at the same time, there really is no excuse to use styrofoam. I don't think these days. Maybe there's an argument to be made. I really don't know. Maybe it would break down if we just knew the science to break it down in a natural way. I was reading once years ago, they had these little enzymes, natural little enzymes that somehow could eat through. You know, why aren't they working on that shit? Also, you guys, they keep talking about the sea level rising and taking out all the coastal communities. I have a great idea. Let's drink the oceans. And people go, look, I got a heart problem. I don't need all that salt. We know how to desalinize. Salinate? Whatever. You know, the water. I know it's very expensive. Bet you if we just did that nonstop for like a decade and tried really fucking hard, and every single country tried really fucking hard, and every single scientist tried really fucking hard to desalinate water, then we could probably have desalination effectively, pollution-free desalination plants up and down the coast of our coastal areas in decades. We could literally drink away that erosion. Smarter thinking through worse living. But oh, well, I don't know. That might be I don't know if I should put that up. You might get me demonetized. That's funny. Never made one penny. Quality control. Did you know there are 52 possible defects possible on a single paper cup? Is that a trick question? I always feel like after I hear something like that, then I'm picking up a full deck of cards, you know, like a moron or something. Oh, well, shit, I didn't see that part first. Then you know. I'm sorry. I'm a little out of it today, you guys. I spent a lot of time on the road. When I wasn't on the road, I was painting and working, you know. I hear one of them big ass bees, so if I jump up and hit them with the old again, I know it's not good for the environment, but I'd like to say thank you to today's sponsor, Ortho, my friend in the country, because you know what? Without you, I'd have a lot more tick bites, probably have more Lyme disease. I'm just waiting for your big brother DDT to come back. Just don't put the Ortho in the styrofoam cup. Oh, cup sizes. Yeah, you worked in a cup size factory, did you, Symbol? Yeah. What were the ranges like? D, double D. Better living through chemistry. Right. Well, there's something to be said about that. I mean, I think that you know, to just say that chemicals are terrible, to just say that modified foods are terrible, is not representing the full truth. We've been eating modified foods since the Dutch came here, whoever said that earlier, and they started grafting trees on this land. How is that not modified? It's okay to modify food. Okay? But if the shit you're spraying on it is poisoning you with cancer, yeah, that's bad. Bad. If you got to rely on the general population to wash off the cancer-causing agents before they eat the product, you have to assume, too, that soaks through a thin skin, which I don't have, thank God. Very thick. Shade cracked me up. Simba, that was good. So yeah, okay. So then through okay, yeah. So you're in the quality control program. Okay, all right. Well, that makes you were engineering paper cups. I mean, how many conversations did you have with coworkers outside of work about fucking paper cup defects? Just out of curiosity. Oh, hi, Hiawatha. Yay. Yes. I was just about to go off the air, but you guys know the rule. Can't go off the air when new people join the room. I'm not going to work today. I worked all weekend, guys. I mean, okay, I didn't get paid for it. That wasn't the point. I wanted to do something for Sister X. She saved my ass, her and her husband, and my niece. I mean, it's a family. Musk. I saw that I went out there, so I paused. Elon Musk is irritated with me apparently today. So yeah, so this was just a something I wanted to do, you know, for Sister X. Because one, she likes her little house there in her little suburb, you know, she's earned it. She works her balls off for a large corporation in Chicago. She does not make what she should for the hard work that she does and the experience that she has. Graduated on the dean's list, of course. Full-time job. At the same time, graduated in 4 years. When so many people today can't seem to stay focused to do a 4-year degree in 6.5 years without a job. So yeah, my Sister X is a hero, you know, to me. People can talk about, you know, the Harlem Globetrotters being their hero, and that's fine. Or, you know, some actor or some politician, but my hero is Sister X, one of them. I have many heroes. Also, the Harlem Globetrotters. I love you guys. Thanks for having me over. Everybody rolling in now. Yeah, thanks, everybody. Now we're an hour and 16 minutes in. I've been blabbering on. I have no content left, but something tells me I'll come up with something. Fishy's here? Are you serious? Oh, my God. I thought I never saw you around anymore. I was like, oh, no, she probably, like, banned me somehow or so. Who knows how I've been people left and right, Fishy. I just haven't seen you around. You doing okay? Have you been broadcasting? I have to make more coffee. If all these people are coming in the room, I have to make more coffee. I'm so out of it right now. Hang on. And then I'm going to take my Advil because my back is killing me. Oh. Oh, my God. Oh, wait a minute. You guys, I look like just a mess. I look like a mess. Hang on. There we go. There. While I'm winching my ass out of my RV booth with a really sore back, I'd rather not be on camera today. If you guys, I feel vulnerable, so sorry, I'm a little sensitive. But wow, I'm super glad everyone's coming in the room. What have we? Oh my God, I have ants. Oh my God, I have ants. Shit. That's the thing about living weird like I do, man. I got to record or show you guys what I got going on out here. Oh my God. All the grass is growing up around me. I'm pretty convinced I need to buy some kind of weed eater or something like that. You know, something I can get rid of. I got to trim up, in other words. If I don't trim up around my unit, I'm only inviting bugs. I mean, my RV. You know. Oh, yeah. Me and Charles Nelson Riley, you know. Me and Charles Nelson Riley are chilling. Anybody ever watch the match? Anybody like the match game? I suddenly sound like I'm 104. Anybody watch the Waltons? Hang on, I'm going to turn the cam back on. Don't worry. I don't hide behind. I might not be having a good, you know, hair day. I don't know where the fuck my brush is at. And I may not have a stellar hat like Charles Nelson Riley or even a little pipe like that. I'm not so sure the pipe I have I'm even allowed to put. I'm just kidding. Like my true version of that would be so much more white trash. And God knows I do not have the neckline to wear a scarf around my neck like a fucking collar. But I do admire it. Fishy, how you been, Fishy? Where'd we go? Am I back yet? Oh yeah. Oh, whoops, I wasn't at the bottom of the comments. What a moron. Oh my God, B. Marie's back in the room. Holy crap, it's like a family reunion. Give me 2 seconds. I need my non-dairy creamer. No, that's not code for anything else. Stupid non-dairy creamer. The fact that I'm right now using a pre-roll joint tube to stir my instant coffee with non-dairy creamer ought to let you know somewhat of my disheveled state at the moment. Yes, I'm wiping my pre-rolled joint tube of coffee off into the... Can you hear it on the styrofoam? Listen. See ya. Here I come. Oh, this is going to be fun. There we go. I'm back. Yeah, so I'm just like, gonna light this and, let the, literally, possibly up. But I like the crowd. I got, well, Hiawatha, I mean, I always make some kind of backhanded, baby fish that trim you to unit. I'm such a child. I mean, I really am so immature. Yeah, but you know what, V Marie? It didn't help that I left for 2 days and that little bit of sugar that I spilled on my counter for making coffee. Definitely that's where, I guess that's why they call them sugar ants. It attracts them, apparently, sugar. I'm not calling you sugar. I'm saying the sugar attracts the ants. You know what I'm saying, sugar. Oh, wow. Summer's here. Summer's here, kids. That's a song, by the way. Yeah. Oh, you have a reel mower. Wait, what's a reel mower? Because I know how to spell reel, and I know that must mean it's like some kind of specialty mower. What's it do, Shay? I want something. Don't you live like in a jungle or something? I don't know why I keep thinking I know where everyone lives, but it's what's weird? I mean, obviously, I allow pretty full access to my life here. Ugliest lamp in the fucking world. Which I love, by the way. That was a score at like $8 or $9 at Goodwill, and it's heavy. It's literally 30 pounds, and it's actually vintage and old, and it's clean. Until now, it had never been smoked around. I could tell. V-Dog is here. Oh, yeah. So I've been kicking out a few Delphi shows. Not really Delphi. I'm not really interested in trying to prove guilt or innocence of anyone. I feel like that's beyond the scope of an amateur broadcaster, really. I like to just intake the information and then parse it, Isn't that what we do as web sleuths? Why do I always pick words with so many S's with missing teeth so I can sound like a total moron? The bridge won't be any better. I figure I might as well get a pair of those Dracula wax teeth as they sell at Halloween. Give them a little shove, I mean, that'd be pretty cool look, right? What you got? A balcony? Wait, come back. Oh, they can climb a balcony. Are you kidding me? Why can't ants climb balconies? Put some sugar on the pole. Mm-hmm. All right, I better keep drinking coffee. Some people have a problem with squirrels climbing up into their bird feeders. You know the solution to that? Symbol. Or anyone. You got to grease the pole. You got to grease the pole. And the squirrels will not be able to climb up it. They just, It's like a pre-gas mower. Oh, like you push it and it turns. Oh, I'm way too deep at this point to get. I'd have to be like Magnus Magnus to push through this shit at this point, and I'm barely able to do anything like that. I need like something called like a brush hog for what I got around my shit. You know what I'm saying? It's bad. It's thick. I mean. Well, good night, John Boy. You watch Match Game every night? That's dedication. Wow. Yeah, I don't have any television. Much like Elvis, I shot my last television, but I suppose I could watch it. I guess it does play on the computer. I guess probably. Huh? I do have Amazon and all that stuff. I'm sure I could pull up tons of Match Game episodes, but I went through a phase for a while where, yes, on the game show channel. And I don't like to watch old game shows typically, but that game show in particular, with the ensemble cast of talented comedians night to night, and the outstanding hosting by one Gene Rayburn. Either way, he was one suave son of a bitch. I wanted, he's just swanky, just a swanky, checkered suit wearing cool dude with that microphone, it's like, it was like that big. It had the little ball on top, Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it was nice to see, oh God, what was the name, the host of, oh, yeah. Well, it was nice to put Richard Dawson in a setting where he wasn't able to literally accost women, He was in a seat. He was safe. They usually sat him next to, like, somebody pretty hideous. Or even maybe another dude. And really, they really cornered him so he wasn't able to get his hands on people and start making out with them. And, of course, they never invited Barker on because he'd had everybody reaching into his damn pocket for that $100 bill when they got the price right. That'd be flat-out sexual assault today. Some of them bigger women, no offense, but, I mean, they'd go running at Bob Barker after they would win that prize. And he knew they were going in for that $100 bill, but he'd almost turn and run. You could tell he was scared. Gary Marshall. Thank you, Shay. Marshall. No TV here for 12 years. I see I'm going backward. I'm doing this wrong. I got to go back and then I'm putting the comments up backwards. I don't want to do that. Oh, wait. Shay said, my community decided right outside my bedroom window would be a good place to plant the only 5G pole in the whole town. You got to move. You got to cut that thing down. Pole. What's it made out of? Just wood? Sawzall. Simdal saying kind of a shout out there to B Marie, which is nice. I'm saying a shout out to B Marie and Simdal, but B, it's me and B, oh look, we go back. I mean, as far as to me, online, friendships, for me only started when I went initially onto Sleuth Intuition. So that was like the first time I ever really socialized with anyone online. I mean, I always stayed far away from that. I liked my face-to-face. But, maybe it had something to do with the pandemic. Everything was shut down. I was always working, but I don't know. I really liked the community. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. And some of the people I met there, like B, who I'm still so glad to see. And they've been through the ringer with me, They've heard me bitch about everything forever, or be excited about this or that, or things that you want to do that don't work out. But they're still here, and I appreciate it. It means something. And if you're not able to appreciate, when things do turn around and things do get better, and you can make and compare and contrast that in your life, much like I would do monthly with when I would do profit and loss statements for whatever restaurant I was running. What are the comparative sales? Are we comping? Are we doing better at this time now than we were last year at this point? For me, that answer is yes. I don't own my house anymore. I don't have any bills, really. But I don't have the same stress, and I'm a happier person. To me, that's a win. Doesn't mean I don't want to own a house again or whatever. In fact, I said at the beginning of the show, which I'm sure no one caught, that I've had an interesting possible, and, I wouldn't normally say, but because it's someone that I know and trust, I'm definitely going to explore a conversation within a possible job offer in Colorado. At least in a let's try it out kind of way. Because I'm a let's try it out kind of guy. I live in an RV on 120 acres. Nothing holding me. I don't have a family per se. I mean, my mom's in the home. I have been visiting her a lot. Not patting myself on the back. I've been enjoying it, actually. Always did enjoy nursing homes. I'm not scared of old people like some people are. I just see them as people like us, just a little bit older. They're good ones, bad ones, some that are bitchy, some that are funny, some that don't say anything at all, and some that have less legs than they used to. But they're all people. And so when I walk in the door, I'm, if I remember the bag of pork rinds for what's his name with no legs, and the nurse is like, he doesn't need pork rinds. I'm like, this guy's got no fucking legs. I mean, he asked me to get him pork rinds. I'm bringing him pork rinds, and you're gonna have to tackle me to get those pork rinds out of my coat pocket, But my mom's like the most popular person in the nursing home. Believe it or not, she has a personality much like mine, or vice versa. She's rather social. Oh, hey, Junior. Yeah, of course, man. It's a Tuesday. You probably got plenty of things to be doing. Thanks for ever stopping in here at all. If you do investigate that Kenmore family case a little bit from 2023 in Vegas, really try to go over the actual just evidence that's there. That's the best thing instead of listening to propaganda. Decide for yourself. You'll never be ridiculed on this channel or anywhere around here for believing either way, whatever anyone wants to believe, Oh, well, you're not behind. Oh, you might. I mean, I don't know in what reference you're saying that to, but much like Elvis, I'm doing a show on Elvis and the fact that he had a hidden office in the basement of the Columbia place I had personal pictures of for that purpose in 1988. It's going to be on my 6th. And Sheba Speaks Invasive Birds covers. I love giving him shit for that. It's just hard to say. Junior, you have a great day. Always to you. Thank you for stopping in. Everybody, too, for that matter. Yeah. Shay says, have a great day, Junior. Just in case you didn't catch it. No, not at all. Here's a great thing with me, B. You're not missing anything. It's like a soap opera. You just bounce back in, and it's either a shit day or a good day. But I mean, I try to keep it more consistent now. I'm working full time, and I'm trying to make it happen. But it's a slow process. But at the same time, the process to me is working. So I'm just going to keep working the plan and try to enjoy summer and do fun stuff while at the same time being responsible and trying to keep my goals focused, to some degree. I'm not a heavy partier, really. I talk I used to be, but it's been years. I talk crazy, but it's not for me. I'm mostly coffee and cigarettes, dude, Yeah, Hiawatha. I mean, the Delphi community is toxic. Unless some new documents come out, I don't listen to the crud on most channels. I don't either. Appellate lawyers requested transcripts from 10/20. Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for dropping that awesome news on my channel. Hiawatha with breaking news. Apparently, appellate lawyers requested transcripts from October of 2022 today. Appellate lawyers. Oh, yeah, no, I got that. I know how to, I get that stuff. Usually get that stuff. See, the problem is when you're typing out, though, because the word form is still a word, it doesn't underscore it, I don't think, or something. It's sometimes it'll let it go through in context when it's spelled properly as a word, and so it kind of doesn't alert a person. So I try to stay on top of that. Yeah, I know you're pretty brilliant, so I knew to correct it when I said it. Simdo says Hiawatha, same until the appeal plays out. Is there going to be an appeal? This is how far out of the loop. I'm still concentrating on how this son of a bitch got to walk free for 6 years. I guess what I was saying was, yeah, I'm not trying to prove guilt or innocence on anyone. I want to know what broke down in the process. That's all. And I don't even need heads to roll, really. And I don't even need to know the answer to it. I just wish somebody officially would look into it. That's all. I don't think it's too much to ask with all we know. And I'm not going to go into all that today. This is way too fun of a show to go into all that. But I don't mind talking about Delphi at all or reading through the comments. I just don't want to go on about my own personal blah, blah, blah. I get on such a tangent about it. I'd rather let you guys, the whole show is supposed to be any questions you guys have and all that today. So anything you want to know or ask about Delphi, I'm happy to talk about. Shay says the best thing that could happen with Delphi communities would be for both sides to unify and demand due process. I mean, I agree, Shay. You're right. I love you too, B. Marie. Unless you were saying, maybe you're saying that to Simdal. I don't know. But no, I'm just kidding. I know you're saying. Yeah, well, yeah, right. Hiawatha says to Shay back, yes, in a perfect world, but I don't think it's too much to ask Hiawatha to have the expectations. Maybe they're not met. But who is even bothering to put them down in the first place or ask the question? That's what's bugging me. Not whether, heads roll or that anyone else is guilty or innocent or any of that stuff, although that's all important for someone else. For me, it really has become, why didn't they arrest him 2 days after the fucking, it's just like that whole thing really bugs me. And I need to find out, is it conspiracy? Is it, is it just a plain old mistake? But again, as Vito says, things stack, they stack. That's all. But I don't see some I'm not like accusing anyone of anything, I'm still curious though. Yes. Simdo Hiawatha, yes, one of the few honest about what is speculation and what is fact. Oh wait, who are we talking about? Well, apparently somebody's doing a good job. Good for them. But yeah, we like different points of view, and it doesn't have to be controversial, God, geez, I look like I should be doing the walk of shame after a crazy Saturday night. Well, like I said, the way I see it, I mean, I do feel like he's guilty of leading them to, if not doing the actual killing, of leading them to their deaths, and that's the same thing. So it's just all the same. He should die, or whatever. But as far as he should have got the death penalty, as far as I'm concerned, off with your head, because that's just like taking innocence like that, that's a level beyond robbing the local gas station and the clerk pulls out a gun and you get into some kind of shootout and someone dies, and that's bad. You're still going to either the rest of your life, or you're going to go to the chair for that. But that's not what we're talking about here, in my opinion. That's terrible, and the families of those people that are murdered like that certainly feel no less pain. And I'm not saying that. I want to be sensitive of that. But it's not like sadistically planned out serial killery weirdness, And I don't like that stuff. It's gross to me. All of it's gross. I don't think that, I mean, I remember friends used to sort of emulate criminals and, oh, that's cool. And people love these chases. Man, I don't like to see innocent people get hurt in these chases. It's always some family of four gets, T-boned because some asshole in a Dodge Charger in Orlando, Florida decides to rob a fucking bank and run. I don't mind when the cops shoot those people dead right away before they kill people in the community because they don't care. Don't get me going, Hiawatha. Well, the guilter should not fear retrial with due process. I agree with you, Shay. If he is guilty, he will be bound so. And why the framers wrote the DP clause into DPB and double death penalty clause into the Constitution. Right. Due process. Follow the law. Wherever that takes us. So why sit back? Like some creators are acting as if he doesn't have a right to an appeal if they rule that he has a right to an appeal. I guess apparently not everyone always has a right to an appeal if no nexus or new information or even something that was testified on could be questionable. And I don't think that's what we have here. I think, they're questioning some of the previous process. And that's grounds and right for an appeal, from what I understand in my Rubish way. I mean, I agree, B. I fear no retrial either, He's guilty. I agree. Oh, no. Some of those years on that Dodge Ram were special, too. Even the two-wheel drive versions, like the early 90s ones, I thought, late 80s, they were gorgeous. They still had the big Ram on the front. My stepdad, I remember, got a, the first year they came out, he got a, the smaller version. He went and got a full-size one after that. But that truck ran literally, I think, 500,000 miles. It was a Dodge, it was a little truck. It was like smaller than the big Ram. It was more like, but it was a little bigger than like the competition. It was bigger than the S10 at the time, and it was slightly bigger than the S10 and slightly bigger than the Ranger. It was a version of all that, but I can't remember now. Dodge Dakota. That was an excellent truck. 1987, I believe, is the year it came out, and that's the year he bought. A beautiful truck, man. He put running boards on it. Two-wheel drive, it's still sweet. I mean, I wouldn't really want to. I feel like if I'm going to bother to buy a truck, I need that. I'm out in the country, or if I'm delivering, that a four-wheel drive just makes sense for me, or all-wheel drive. Either or, I would prefer four-wheel drive because I like the idea of my two wheels being free in the back when I want them to be, or all. I know it's not always all four wheels, but I don't like that all-time all-wheel drive aspect of things, because I'm used to how cars react based on them being two-wheel drive, either front or back. I've driven both plenty. Oh wow, I bet it was gorgeous. All right. Are you kind of a vehicle person like me, Shay? Like, I'm definitely like, yeah, I don't have. I mean, that's like a little bit beyond, at least money wise, where I could ever be, because I know those things cost cash. But I do like even my car now. It's sort of special. I mean, you'd be surprised the looks and comments I get on my 33-year-old Camry that has no rust and runs like a top. Besides that gas leak. Okay, so I ended up with a Dakota after my insurance screwed me and didn't even kiss me. Damn. Hated that Dakota. Was part of that because you felt like they didn't kiss you afterwards? Or did you hate the way it drove and hate all that shit? And anyways, I'm talking about an 87 Dakota. You're talking about a way later vehicle. Oh, you have a race car? Jeez. I must not know a lot about you. Oh, yeah, I built my first race car. Yeah, no, I agree, Hiawatha. Dakota for a Ram is not the same thing. I was merely noting the 87 Dakota, the way my stepdad had it set up with the nice running boards, and the chrome bumpers. Remember when they put chrome bumpers on cars? That was a good look. It was a good look, a chrome bumper. Bad for the environment. Chrome dipping is terrible. Part of Kalamazoo's PFAS problem is from all those chrome dipping plants. Oh, well, shit, Shay. I mean, dang. You didn't have to say all that. I'm not a big fan of these 69 Camaro, but we had a 69 Firebird, so you can see there was a little bit of competition there. Now, I didn't have a race car, and we didn't have the 400 big block. My mom just had the 350 automatic, but it was a light car and a damn good looking machine, that 69 Firebird. And in 1969, with rack and pinion steering and that 350, they must have just felt like, my mom must have just felt like freaking so awesome. Only fast car I ever owned is it was decently fast. 5-speed. I bought an 85 Mustang 50 GT high output in 1997. I only had 9,000 original miles on it when I got it. That's why I bought it. I had a brand new car too. I bought a brand new Mazda Protege the year before that. The only brand new car I ever bought. Those were both in Colorado. When I lived in Fort Collins, I was running a Papa John's out there. That's right. But that 5-speed, yeah, I mean, I ended up selling it because I got behind in my debt. But I ended up selling it for what I bought it for. But now, as pristine as that car was, I mean, it was like a new car. It still smelled new, and it was like 13 years old when I bought it, And it was the last year they made a 4-barrel carburetor. And it was an 85 and a half, I think it was. And it was like this kind of lame blue, but the flat black racing stripe up the hood, made up for it. That was cool, I thought. And the blue is kind of but yeah, I really do like a stick shift. I really do like a manual transmission. You don't find them much anymore. So it's kind of hard when you don't have a lot of money to justify looking for something that specifically meets that standard when you could have a perfectly good car for less that's going to run forever, like this $1,200 33-year-old Toyota Camry with zero rust that I have. And you guys have seen the pictures. This thing runs like a top. I mean, I'm always on doing shorts and stuff in my car. You can see it's like, besides I'm a slob, I mean, the car itself runs great. You can't even hear it. I got an oil change the other day. The guy didn't know it was running. He goes, "You can turn it on." I go, "It's running." He goes, "Holy shit, that's quiet." Oh, that sounds great. Oh, man. Yeah, well, see, that's like 12 levels above the, base level 350 automatic. But in 1969, now keep in mind, that's pre-governor days. Governor. So, those horses got you a little bit further. Even Granny's old Dodge Dart used to kick ass. Oh, I didn't add sugar to that. Whoopee. Oh, damn it. All right. Well, now you're just talking over my head, but Holly Carb, I heard of that. My stepdad was a total redneck. Of course, I had a 302 in my car. Oh, 396. Isn't that what came in like Chevelles and stuff? Like the Super Sports and stuff? You might have had a Yoda above it. Do you is it fair to ask what kind you have now, or is keeping fast cars and keeping special cars oftentimes too becomes expensive and a hassle, part of my problem was, yeah, it could be worth X amount now, but who's to say I would have stored it properly and mice wouldn't have eaten their way through it, and then I wouldn't have ran, and I would have just let it sit and go to shit and basically turn to dust. So I got out of it what I bought for it and drove it for 5 years in between. Pretty cool. But I didn't drive it much. I treated it as I treated it as a second car. I garaged it myself when I bought my house in Kalamazoo. There was a place, and even before I bought my house, I kept it in my grandpa's garage, where the squirrels made a nest out of the corn, that hard corn that my grandma would get for the squirrels, that my grandpa would have to stab onto the nail up in the yard, for the squirrels. And they took all that off the cob, and it was all in my breather. Little bastards. Oh, wow. Geez, Symbol. Are you serious? Most people don't drive that far here. Do you like driving? I mean, you clearly like cycling. Now, when you say cycle, are you talking motorcycle or unmotored cycle? Are we talking bicycle? Unicycle, possibly. I don't know. Now, if you unicycle 12,000 miles a year, I will send you PayPal. Oh, too bizarre. Too bizarre. Well, at least you had one you loved for the last one. You know, it would have sucked if it was like a Chevette or something, Yeah, that's for sure. The roads aren't too conducive to cycling. In Kalamazoo, where they're real liberal over there, they even made you're not even barely allowed to drive over there anymore because of all the bicycles. Well, they made the lanes for them. Nobody uses them, but if you get caught in one and then we have what we call the 5-foot rule. So if there's a bike in the lane and you can't give it 5 foot, then you have to slow down to the speed of the bike and make a whole line of traffic behind it. But I want people to be in shape also. I just want cities, before they make stupid fucking decisions that affect everyone driving in a grid everywhere, to do things with common sense. Maybe make particular routes that can still get somebody somewhere, instead of every road have the same rule. Maybe instead of when a guy defends his home with a shotgun against a masked knife-wielding psycho, you don't take his gun like you did mine. Fuck you, Kalamazoo. I live in the country now. No one's taking my shotgun. In fact, no one cares that I live in an RV on 120 acres in the middle of a cornfield. They don't care. As long as I'm keeping to myself. Which I do. Bicycle. Okay, thank you. I mean, I have my affection for it. I like these stories of Kalamazoo. It is an interesting place, and I still don't know half the history. And I study it, and I like metal detecting there with my buddy Justin and Sheba's Bakes and Beasts and Birds covers. But I don't want to live there again. Oh, and I got friends there and crap, I'll go see them. It's not like I'm going to stay out of Kalamazoo. That's part of me. But once I didn't have a house there, there's no need for me to want to have a house there. It is overpriced and overregulated. So they can kiss my ass. I'm a country boy now. Think about an e-bike. My buddy that I just said that long name. He has one of those e-bikes. Listen to this. He bought that son of a gun, he said, about 5 years ago or 4 or 5 years ago. He said like about $400 or $500. He's never had to replace the battery. This thing takes him all over and goes up to like 30 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, something reasonably. If you're in a bike lane, who cares? You get to use the bike lane. It's exclusive. Trust me, man. You'd have your own whole road system in Kalamazoo while everyone else is stuck in grid traffic, pattern traffic. Yeah, for me, I know my keyboard, I don't like typing on my phone ever. Any phones, I end up just getting angry at them. Like, it's just, that technology's cool, but it's like, I miss hard buttons. Like, even those old phones, they kind of like, you could turn sideways and then flip the screen like up. And they had like hard buttons, Like, without hard buttons, I'm kind of, it's just too annoying for me. Yeah, fat fingers. Well, if you got the infrastructure for it, great. I come from the state that dare say invented the automobile, or at least invented the automobile industry as we know it, in terms of research and development and that infrastructure being built out. So you can see where the concentration was from 1910 to 2010 for 100 years. You can say 100 years of direction. Now, some communities in the state, of course, were much more ahead of their time, and Kalamazoo's not so far behind. But like when I lived in Fort Collins 30 years ago, I mean, their trails transversed the entire city. They went under roads. They went over bridge. They had their own whole deal worked out. Nobody got in each other's way. In Kalamazoo, people are killed walking and biking all the time. In fact, it was only about 7 or 8 years ago that I think 7 people all at once were killed on their bicycles in Kalamazoo. You can Google this. The guy that hit him, it was an old country road, and he was all fucked up on pills and booze and literally ran over 7, and they were all dead. I mean, it was a big national story, actually. And all the time downtown, because they're giving these pedestrians and bikers certain rights that the cars are then not recognizing with local ordinances. You understand? And doing all this weird shit all the time to try to make it better. Instead of enacting a plan on and unroll it as a plan. It's like so piecemeal that people are losing their lives because of it. As hard as they've tried to alleviate all that, more people are dying now than ever. I don't know if that's their goal or not, but I don't like them anymore. Well, that's I mean, you're not just saving money, man. You're saving your own freaking body. You're saving your own health. Even sick people in good health get through things better when they start with a ground or base level of being able to do stuff like that, Simdle. So that's excellent. Health-wise, one of the best things that ever happened to me happened last year. Now I've corrected that situation, but when my car got repossessed and I had to walk everywhere in town, and I'm a stubborn son of a bitch. I did not like asking people for rides. I walked miles in one direction to get something if I needed it. But you know what? After smoking so long, it cleared up some of the lung shit. Now I'm back to not walking like I was, but I'm not asking that my car gets repossessed. Well, I own my car now. I paid for it outright, but whatever. Simdle says we were up the same. Oh wait, I gotta start over. Sorry. We were the same up until the 60s, and too many kids died. We had massive protests. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like one of those things. On one hand, they want you to buy these products and use them. And then on the other hand, you got people going, I don't want to spend any tax dollar. I don't want no taxes taken out of my money. Well, how do we make it all work then? I mean, really. Where I come from in my life, it was a patriotic thing to pay your taxes. Didn't mean you wanted to pay extra or that you didn't complain when rich people got a break and you had to pay more, but you paid them. Yeah, the goal wasn't to get out of everything, Donald. I don't find any pride in that. If you're not willing to support your country financially, then don't call a cop. Don't call a fire department. Don't ask for a road to be fixed. Fucking hover somewhere and put out your own fire. These things aren't free. It might be a free society, but the cost of living isn't free. The people that are going to have to pay it are the people that make money. People like me, people like you. We're going to pay our taxes. Doesn't mean we have to pay more than we should, or shouldn't fight for them to be reallocated in other ways, or used in ways that we find more, that's where we, elect people and so forth that represent, where we want our tax dollars to go. Because we don't have a lever in our house to pull and go, well, I want 12% of my tax dollars to go to this cause. That's not how things work in a society. It's a slush fund, It's a big pot. I remember when they first started adding bike lanes in Indy and people were getting hit daily. Drivers weren't used to merging with bike. They're not allowed to merge with bike traffic in Kalamazoo. You have got to stay. After those 7 people were killed on their bikes, they made the 5-foot rule. So at all times, you have to stay 5 foot away from a bicycle in a bubble. Now, the roads aren't that wide. They were built in the 1800s. They weren't built with vehicles and bicycles with a 5-foot rule in mind. Not for two-way traffic. Come on. There you go. 5. Thank you, B. Marie. Thanks for Googling that. That is correct. I recognize the name. Crazy, though. 5. Yeah. It's tragic, you know? And I can't tell you how many times college kids, it's like they'll build these college apartments way away from the college, and then they'll put them on a road with no lights and no sidewalks in the wintertime while they're wasted at 2 a.m. trying to fucking walk home, and charge them $2,000 a month. Someone's hollering at me. I'll be right back, because no one hollers at me on my property ever unless someone's here. So I gotta now prepare myself. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna stay live in case something weird happens. Hey, got a second. Oh, there we go. Hello? Hello? Yeah, who's that? Oh, hey. Yeah. My Camry? Hi. Oh, okay. No. Anyways, I'm just back here if you need anything, okay? Sorry, I got my back went out on me. All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Oh, yeah, the landowner is here. Checking out a couple things here. Oh, shit. Oh, my fucking God, I can't even sit down, dudes. That is painful. Okay, I'm back. Man. Yeah, it's when you live by yourself on all this land is around you, when you hear someone's voice, if you don't recognize it right away, it concerns you a little bit. No. Oh, I didn't leave my screen on. Oh, my lower back hurts so bad. I look like a sad old man getting out of my seat. I don't want you guys to see it. That's why I want. Also, if something did happen, I guess I should have left my screen on in case it was unsafe. I guess that wasn't smart. I'm sorry. I will leave it on next time. Thank you for being concerned. Yeah, because it's just like, whoa. But as soon as I heard my name, I knew I was probably all right. Yeah, I met it's her parents, so my friend's parents. So I met them once before, and real cool people. Let's see. Dutch people are raised on a bike. Even the people that use cars understand them. It's a cultural shift. That does make sense. But Simdal, in all fairness, I think some communities, especially as you made a more westward expansion. I mean, think about what happened post World War II out west in America. Out west in America was a desert until after World War II. No matter where it was at, Arizona, you name it. No one lived there. But one thing made it possible for people to populate that area: air conditioning. That's the truth. And as soon as air conditioning was invented, hot ass places like that start filling up with people. And let me to finish that thought. They were more conscious of, they were more conscious of a pedestrian or bicyclist point of view in terms of the traffic. So So to expand on that, I just think after living out west that it's just a lot more friendly to pedestrians being outdoors and activity like that. I think that back here in the Midwest, it's like, yeah, you got a lot of land and a lot of room, but yet the amenities oftentimes don't match, your surroundings. And not in a bad way necessarily. I'm just saying that it is a cultural shift, but yeah, I'm having a hard time getting in and out of my seat right now. I just don't want you guys to see me struggle. It looks terrible. I'm all ragged looking today. I didn't even bother putting on a real shirt. D. B. Well, B, it was close, but it's before I got out the door, I heard my name because I hollered. So, oh yeah, well, no, well, I worked on my sister's house all weekend. I'm not used to doing like home projects, so I was just like reaching up, taking off shutters, painting, just that kind of stuff, like physical-ish stuff. And then I rode in the car a ton, back and forth. And somewhere in that process, it's just a lower back thing, which doesn't really concern me. It's nothing like that shoulder thing I had for months, that like I didn't know if it was ever going to go away, but at least that don't hurt. And I've always had issues from time to time in the restaurant business with my lower back, standing over what we call a Delafield or a make line. A Delafield being a brand name, make line being the generic, of the thing that will be refrigerated, that you slide your pizza along and you make your pizza, before you put it in the end of the conveyor belt oven. Or if you're lucky, you have a stone oven and work in a mom and pop place. But oftentimes I work for corporate entities, and we had conveyor ovens to get through a maximum of products. In fact, my ovens at my Papa John's, when I ran it, were set at 5 minutes and 50 seconds on a cycle. They were called Super 70s, and I could push through 270 products an hour. That's a lot of pizza, folks. We were $1 million unit with an $11 ticket average. Do the math. Burned your eyes with lime dust when I was putting in a cobblestone sidewalk and lost my sight for 2.5 years. Really? Burned your eyes with lime dust. Where do you get lime dust? Why do you got lime? Oh, putting in a cobblestone sidewalk. That can happen? I mean, are cobblers all across the land losing their sight for years? Is that true? Shit, you had some crazy ass shit happen to you, I swear to God. I don't know what Mr. Wilson's up to. You're funny. Couldn't go in the sun at all. Oh, wow. Because of your sight. No, that'd be terrible. I mean, I shouldn't go in the sun because I'm allergic to it, but at least this arm, this farmer arm, because I don't know if you guys can see it. It's got all these little red bumps, and I'm digging at it like I got, some kind of fucking rot or something, But it's always this one arm that hangs out the window of my car, and I get, a farmer tan. Go ahead, it's fine. And one time I got a farmer tan so bad, driving back from Colorado, I wasn't paying attention. I was wearing a t-shirt like this. I'm probably a printed one with something cool on it, but it was flapping, in the wind the whole time. I had my arm out the window. It was summertime, and I don't like air conditioners all that much in a vehicle. Like if it's nice out, I like the windows down, and it got so bad right here that it looked like looked like melted plastic. And then I had all freckles there that I never had before. That's weird. I still got them. But after that, then this whole part of my arm, anytime in the sun, if I don't put on protection, and after I moved, like last summer I was living on Jefferson in Kalamazoo, and I knew where all my shit was at. Now I don't know anything. And this stuff that I have to put on it is like $20 a tube. It's got some kind of special something in it that the doctor recommended. I mean, it's over the counter, but it's a special sunscreen, and it's like 3 times more than any other kind, and it works. It's the kind of sunscreen that if you wrote, you know, like your name with it or something else, you know, it's almost people would see it. You guys, I better get off here. We've been going 2 hours and 10 minutes. I better see if the landowner needs me to help him with anything today for a minute, although I can't really move. So I mean, you know, I can't do too much, you know. I help a lot of people out, you know. Yeah. Oh, Shay's been through it. I know you have. You got some stories. I already know, too, some of your crazier ones. And they're, wow. But I'll leave that up to you to talk about. Wow. Weird. Jesus, Shay. You do got... Now you're over that now, though. You're okay in the sun now? I mean... Well, I think writing a book or either of those would be a great idea. Short stories, let it be a collection of short stories, even, you know. I mean, that's what our lives are, after all, folks. It's a collection of short stories that we hope at the end of the day are worthy enough to put in a catalog of humanity. You know, I'd like to think trustworthiness and good-heartedness, you know. I hope it goes for something. And I hope, you know, I'm not saying I am that, but I want to be that. And not be the one that needs, you know, as I have been lately. But be the one that helps, you know, as I have been before. Well, you know, oh, you're going to get rain? Although, I don't know if we live in the same place or something, but all of a sudden they got cloudy here too. Hiawatha sent me them clouds. Yeah. You guys, I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it. I'm like brain dead. I forgot I even left my car open this whole time. I hope my battery didn't die. That'll suck. I mean, I can just leave it on if you guys want to talk. I mean, I can't age. Oh, Shay says, you know you're immortal when they kill you in the ambulance and you wake up in the ER under a sheet. God damn it, Shay. Well, you're either immortal or they're trying to like mess with you. One or the other. That's crazy. I mean, I read stories about people waking up in a coffin under the ground back in the old days, you know. Something would happen, like they'd get some kind of illness that would like put them so far under they were barely breathing. But then they would wake up like, oh shit. That sounds terrible. I don't want to be under the ground. I'm sorry. I don't really want to be cremated either. That doesn't sound cool if anything else is happening. So I'm insisting that probably we should start now collecting a fund. I would like a nice mausoleum if you guys don't mind. You know, you guys can pitch in for that. You know, I'm thinking like a flagstone mausoleum. My initials, you know, maybe in fieldstone somehow. Good night, Simdle. And as Hiawatha says, you just sleep tight down there in the Amsterdams. Try not to I don't even know if they still got all the fun in Amsterdam. I know they got a little sick of that scene. GoFundMe Mausoleum. Yeah. Not only a great band name, but also a good idea. Yeah. All right, you guys. Thanks for joining me today. 2 hours and 15 minutes. V. Marie. I'm going to go through it real quick. For stopping in. Simdal, of course, great to see you. Shay Watson, V. Marie, a classic day to see you. I'm so happy. Hiawatha, always good. I was like, where is Hiawatha? But you ended up getting here. I love it. And I think there are a couple others. I don't know. I'm oh, Big Fish. Yeah, Fishy. You stopped in. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you say she hasn't been making content. No, I don't really block people. I know you're so like I will trim my unit. Big Fish, Small Pond. Thank you, Fishy. Oh, Hiawatha. Chicago was great. It was a fun show. It was super fun, by the way. I'm just getting to a couple things here that I didn't answer. I guess I should do that. I didn't see that. It was a good show, and not just a good show, but it was a loud rocking show. You got those guys are older than I am. They're almost 60 years old. So when you watch all the video clips I put up, keep in mind, and really, recorded doesn't give it the feeling that you get live when you can feel like the bass vibrating through your chest, Of course, Simdal said a while back, howdy to Fishy. But anyways, you guys, thanks for being here with me today. Just did a little impromptu thing. Again, I was going to go to work, but I got this back issue today. So, I love it. Oh yeah. Wow. You guys are awesome today, man. Thanks for all the good vibes. And we'll see you guys soon. And who knows, maybe even later tonight, depending on what kind of fire I can get going, what kind of targets I can set up, and what kind of trouble I can get myself into. Once again, my name's Derek Farmer. I'm from Kalamazoo. Thanks for being with us today on the Derek Farmer Network. Have a great day, everybody. Peace. Yada, yada, unless I know what the hell I'm doing. So this RV gets towed in here. Well, there's a sewer pipe or something called a sewer pipe underneath of this thing that got sort of somehow disengaged from the, I guess what we would call the crapper. So it's all just a big mess right now. Thank God there's a 24-hour Shell station around the corner. If you guys are up there watching tonight, I love you guys. Sorry I overflowed the toffee cappuccino machine once again, but it says halfway or 3/4, but that's bullshit, and you guys know it.